That was Alex Olson.
Thank you, Mr. Olson. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Hey, like I said, we're going to jump into chapter 5, and we're doing 5.3 today. We're going to solve multi-step inequalities. Everybody put 4 fingers up in the air. There are, yeah, there's always one kid going like this. Four inequality signs that you guys know already. Put them up here.
Yeah.
How do you say that sign?
Greater.
Greater than. If I switch it around. Less than. If I put a line underneath it.
More than.
Well, no, or the same.
No, about greater.
Greater than or equal to.
Greater than or equal to. No about in math, Briggs. Math is a specific.
Estimate.
That's true when we do estimate. And you get the less than or equal to symbol.
What about equals?
That's not an inequality, that's an equation. Good thinking. But I do think, Al, the not equal symbol can be grouped with those as well. Okay? Something could not be equal. So, talk about inequalities.
So if it's not equal, it's one of the other 4, isn't it?
Does that pretty much mean no solution not equal to?
No, you'll use the not equal sign a lot when you get to algebra 2 because there's what they call extraneous values and all kinds of weird things. Actually, we'll do some of that this year. But just we're concerned with those first 4 there, the inequality symbols. Now, I showed you guys last year when this weird thing happens. But remember, when solving inequalities, when we multiply or divide both sides of an inequality by a negative number, something weird happens. What do you have to remember to do?
Switch the inequality sign.
Switch the inequality sign. Coupon gets an A for the day.
Yay!
Switch. Or flip, whatever word makes sense to you. Switch the inequality sign. And if you remember, and I'll show you guys real quick, if you remember, I showed you guys why that happens. Okay? Side note up at the top, we have some space. Does everybody agree that 15 is greater than 10?
Yeah.
Is that a true statement? No?
Briggs.
That's true. Watch. Let's divide both sides by a negative number and watch what happens. What's a negative number that goes into both those evenly?
Negative 5.
Negative 5, yeah. Everybody divide both sides by negative 5. Remember, with inequalities, just like equations, whatever we do to one side, we got to do the same thing to the other side. Golden rule of math. So now, what's each side now say?
Negative 3 is greater than.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
It ain't.
That's what it's.
Sean.
That's what
Right?
3.
You're supposed to say what it's
Wait, right. Is negative 3, well, each side now says negative 3 and negative 2, but what equality sign here to make it true?
You have to switch, right? So it'd be negative 3 is less.
Now is it a true statement?
Yes.
Guys, isn't negative 3 less than negative 2?
Yeah.
Okay? So, guys, this is why that rule happens. If we don't switch the inequality sign around, your statement is no longer true. Okay? So I showed you guys a bunch of those examples last year.
true or no?
Say again?
Is it possible?
No. To ever be true without switching it? No. It will not be true all the time. Okay. You guys already know set notation. Okay, remember the little braces? All x such that x equals 5. That's set notation. You're going to learn interval notation today. And you have to write your answers in both set and interval notation. Okay, take a couple important things down first. Less than or greater than. No line underneath them. Use parentheses.
Parentheses.
Trust me on that. When we do an example, you'll see what I'm talking about. Greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. Okay, if we got a line underneath them, we are going to use brackets. So now, in all this stuff today, guys, we're going to have braces, we're going to have parentheses, and we're going to have brackets. Do you think you know the difference between the 3?
Yeah.
Y'all know what a parenthesis looks like. You know what's a bracket?
Let me do it.
Like that. It looks like this. It's like
Square, right?
Square, half a square.
Right, it's got the 90-degree angles. We'll do some of those. And then
Braces are the ones that.
the braces are the ones that look like birds flying sideways. Okay? Put a big old star, guys. Always use parentheses around the infinity sign.
Okay.
And when we do one, I'll show you what I mean. Do you guys know the infinity sign?
Yeah.
What's the infinity sign?
So
Oh,
sideways
that's
8.
It's like a sideways 8. Very good.
Figuring.
Okay.
I have sideways 8 down.
Cubon's on fire today. That's the it goes to infinity. How far is infinity, guys?
Forever.
It goes on.
And beyond.
To what? To infinity and beyond, right?
It's just
All right. There's also, guys, did you know that there was negative infinity?
Yeah.
Okay. Guess what you do? Put a
Oh,
negative sign in front of it. That's negative infinity.
the other way.
It goes the other way. Right. It's like a number line. That's a good way to think about it, Kev. It's a number line. Infinity goes to the right forever. Negative infinity would be the number line going to the left forever. Those things exist. They're going to come into play with our interval notation. All right. Now, let's show what I mean by all that. That's just a little terminology. Everybody solve that first one. Oh, wait.
When you use braces. I mean, yeah.
Set notation. Solve each inequality. Graph your solution on a number line. Fun or no fun?
No fun.
Come on. Oh, you guys can do the lazy man's way to graph it. I'll show you that as well. Write your solution in both set notation and interval notation. So you have to do both of them.
wow.
Okay? And you got to graph your solution. So you got a lot of work to do. Everybody solve that first one. Go. You solve an inequality just the way you solve an equation.
So would the inequality be the equal sign?
Say the what?
Would the inequality be the equal sign?
Yes. Yeah, the inequality is like the equal sign. So I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. Negative 2w is less than or equal to 12.
You gotta flip it.
Why?
Because it says to.
No, that's not the reason. Flippy or no flippy?
Oh, yeah.
Flippy. We're dividing both sides by a negative number, so I'm going to take my less than or equal to sign and make it greater than or equal to. And then 12 divided by negative 2.
Wait, that's not our final answer. I
Negative
can't
6.
box that. Dang it.
Okay, that's just the answer.
Okay, Kevin, it's
Now we're going
okay.
to graph it next.
It's okay.
Oh, it's
Okay,
not.
here's the lazy man's way to graph it. I'll show you guys two different ways. You can choose whatever you want. Half the kids liked it one way. Okay, so negative 6. All you do is put one number in the middle. You don't have to go negative 5, negative 4, all the way to 0. And now, does anybody remember about the open or closed circle?
Yeah. Oh.
Greater than or equal to? Open or closed?
Open.
No.
Closed.
It's closed. Because it could equal negative 6. So we're going to put a closed circle. And then which way are the numbers that are greater than or equal to negative 6?
To the right, to the left.
No, greater than negative 6.
Oh, it's so positive.
Okay,
Figure
towards the
yourself
positive.
out, come on.
And remember, if you have, guys, a little trick from last year, if you have your variable first and your answer number second, the way your inequality sign points is the way you're going to shade your arrow. Always works that way. So the inequality sign's pointing to the right, so I'm going to graph it to the right. So you can either do this, shade in your line, you have to shade in the arrow. That show's going on forever and ever and ever. Or if you remember, we did up and over. That's kind of the lazy man's way to do it too. If you do it that way, you can. One or the other.
Wait, how do you know to flip or not flip?
Okay. What did we do to both sides in this step here, Al?
Divide by -2.
Okay. When we divide by both sides by a negative number.
You flip.
Right.
Oh, it's easy. So if you divide by 2, you wouldn't flip?
Right. Divide both sides by a positive, no flippy. All right. Let's write it in set notation now, our answer. That's where we use those cool little braces that Briggs is amazing at.
No, it's me.
Or Alex. All right. So you write
Uh,
W. You say all W.
Such that.
Slash sign. How does that sign be? How's that sign said?
Such that.
Such that.
W equals.
Not equals.
Oh, it's greater than. Equal to.
Negative 6. That's set notation. All W. Such that W is greater than or equal to negative 6. Now we got to do interval notation. Do you think interval notation is easier or harder?
Easier. Harder.
It's actually easier. Watch. Here's how we're going to do this. It's greater than or equal to negative 6, and it's going to the right. So I'm going to put
Brackets.
a bracket. Okay, that means it's included. I'm going to put a negative 6, and then I'm going to put a comma, and then how far do the solutions go on to?
Infinity.
infinity. And then a parenthesis. There's always a parenthesis around the infinity. Always. That's set notation. I mean, that's interval notation. The first one's set notation. So, guys, you've got like 4 things to do for every problem. Solve it, graph it, set notation, interval notation. Okay? So, guys, when you see this, you should. It goes from -6 to infinity, and it includes -6 because I put a brace. If it didn't include -6, we'd put a parenthesis. If it were an open circle, it'd be a parenthesis. Nico, question.
Do we have to put the arrow on the graph?
Yeah, you have to darken in the arrow because that shows
The arrow above?
this one.
Above.
This one?
Yeah.
No, if you're doing one or the other. All right, solve that. Oh, that's written backwards. I hate it when they put the variable on the wrong side. Okay, the other class showed me this.
I wait all the way to the end.
They're like, do this.
Sends to confusion.
11 plus 4y.
-4y plus 11. Is less than 43. If I rewrite it and I flip it around, it only makes sense that the inequality sign needs to flip around.
You can just
But then the other class said just do this. Less than 43, and then cross that off. Saves yourself a little bit of time.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? Just make sure you got your inequality sign going in the right direction. Okay, so either way is fine. All right, everybody subtract 11 from both sides. -4y is less than 32. Olson, what am I going to divide both sides by?
4.
No.
Wait.
What am I going to divide both sides by?
Negative.
-4. What happens to the inequality sign?
Flip.
Flips. Y is greater than -8. Y is greater than -8. Let's graph it. -8. Open circle. Going to the right.
wait. It's open if it's greater.
Or less than. There's no line. It all has to do with the line underneath it. Because here, -8 is not a solution. So the open circle shows that. Okay? Now, set notation. All y such that y is greater than -8. And then interval notation. Everybody think they got it yet?
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead, Aaron.
Left bracket.
It's not going to be a bracket, it's going to be a parenthesis.
Oh, left parentheses.
Parenthesis.
Wait, why?
Wait, what?
I'll get there. -8.
Comma.
Negative infinity.
Parenthesis.
No, it's greater.
Why is there a parenthesis at the beginning and not a bracket?
Because it's negative.
No,
Because there's an open circle.
it's an open circle. That's why. It's greater than or less than. It's going to be a
Hard
parenthesis.
to remember.
It's going to be hard to remember. But just remember the bracket means that the number next to it is included. The parenthesis means that the number -8 is not a solution. The parenthesis tells us that. Okay? So, solve, graph, set, interval. Sweet, try that next one. Roll them. You guys are doing great.
This is some squeezy stuff we got here.
Did I do it right? D's greater than 66 than 6?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Isn't it greater or equal to?
Ah, greater than or equal to. I lost my or equal to symbol. Thank you. Greater than or equal to. 6.
Wait, how is it 66?
79 minus 13 is 66.
Oh, minus.
Closer.
Sidaro, open or close circle.
Close.
Going to the
Wait. Going to the left. No, right.
pointing to the right, it's going to go to the right. Okay? Set notation. All D such that D is greater than or equal to 6. And can anybody put it in interval notation?
Nico.
Try it. Go ahead, Nico.
Bracket. Yeah. 56, comma, infinity, parentheses.
Done. Great job, Nico. That's the new thing, guys. The interval notation. Say again. The next one. All right. Yeah, all of them have been positive infinity. They start somewhere and they go to the right. This next one's going to go start somewhere and going to go to the left, and that's going to be to negative infinity. So let's do that one. I like to put it greater than 45. Cross it off. Negative 11 minus 8h is greater than 45. Let's add 11 to both sides. Negative 8h is greater than 56. Divide both sides by negative 8. Flippy or no flippy?
Flippy.
Flippy. H is less than. What's 56 divided by negative 8?
7.
Negative 7. Okay?
Okay, I cannot draw an infinity.
Yeah, I was going way
It's
up
hard.
On the left side.
Practice it. Or turn your paper, draw an 8, and then turn your paper back.
Oh, yeah.
It's not hard to draw.
See if that works, Kev. How is it?
Yeah.
Not bad?
Takes long.
All right, let's graph it.
How do you know if it's like,
Open or closed?
yeah.
Okay. How do we know, guys, if it's an open or closed circle?
If there's a line under.
If there's a line underneath it, what do we do?
Open.
Close.
Or
Close.
close.
No line means open.
Fix
See, when you're
yourself.
losing all those great points you had earlier in the period.
God.
Yeah, the fireman
Oh.
came and put him.
Open circle, I'm going to do it this way, and I'm going to do it shading instead of the up and over way. And it goes to, does everybody agree this one goes to negative infinity?
Why?
You got a D on your
Right?
retake.
It's le-
I know
all
you did.
h that are less than negative 7. Let's write the set notation. All h such that h is less than negative 7.
Didn't the signs?
Yeah, but did you say like the point?
Didn't the signs?
You were what?
Did it? Went from greater than to less than, Nico. I did it.
No, that's wrong.
That make sense?
Yeah.
It's tricky. All right, does anybody want to take a risk and try to put it in interval notation? Interval notation. Quinlivan, take a risk.
Parenthesis -7.
Nope. You're going to start with a smaller number.
Oh, negative infinity.
The negative infinity starts it. So parenthesis, negative infinity, comma,
-7.
-7,
Parenthesis.
parenthesis or bracket? Parenthesis.
I don't get that.
You have to go smaller number to the left, bigger number to the right. Negative infinity is smaller than negative 7. It's, guys,
Oh,
it's basically this graph right here, just written in as set notation.
Hey,
Interval notation.
Rocco.
Yeah, our buddy Rocco makes an appearance today. Jump in the back.
What's the girl's name?
Gianna. Rocco's cousin. It's Rocco's cousin.
Big Gianna.
What are we gonna eat, Rocco?
Rocco might make an appearance.
Who's Rocco?
The famous Rocco. Okay, Rocco has a budget of $115 for faxes. You guys know what a fax is?
Yeah,
They don't really use them anymore.
that's
More.
the 80s.
Yeah, it's a little bit old school.
I'll fax you. Okay.
Happens. All right, so he's got a budget. Do you guys know what a budget of $115 means?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
all
can
it
only
is.
spend 100.
So you can't do what?
Can't go over.
Can't go over.
You
it.
can
Greater
spend.
than or-
You could spend equal or less than 115.
Correct. Yeah, there's the inequality sign out. Good job. All right, here's what happens. The fax service that he uses charges $25 to make an account, and then 8 cents per page to send faxes. Write and solve an inequality to find out how many pages Rocco can fax and stay within his budget. Okay? Guys, what's a good variable to use when we're talking about pages? P. Okay? I'm going to define it. P equals number of pages. The greatest number that he can have and still stay under his budget. All right, now I want everybody to use the P, the 8 cents, the $115, and the $25, and try to write an inequality. And Cuban was kind of all over it with what he said. So try to write. I'll give you a big hint. You're going to write a 2-step inequality. Also, what do you think it is?
0.8 p plus 25 is less than or equal to 115.
That was perfect, dude. 0.08p, 8 cents per page, plus $25 setup fee for all this, and you got to be less than or equal to $115 to stay within your budget. Without seeing what you guys have right now, you think calculator or no calculator? Definitely
Actually,
a
yeah.
calculator. We're going to divide by 0.08. We're not going to clear our decimals here, but we're just going to use a calculator. 0.08p is less than or equal to 90. Flippy or no flippy?
No flippy.
No flippy. Everybody grab your calculators, type in 90 divided by 0.08. It's awfully big. 1,125. Label it, Aaron.
P is less than or equal to 1,125.
But 1,125 what? Monkeys?
Oh.
Pages.
So he can spend greater than or less to than.
He can fax up to 1,125 pages. If he faxes more than that, he goes over his budget.
Which is not allowed.
Okay, he might lose his job. He might get fired. You never know.
He doesn't have a job.
He's got a job job.
He does everything.
He's got his roofer's card. Covers everything. Right? Roofer's card covers everything. That's a funny joke.
That was the worst one. Yeah.
You guys got no
Funny
sense.
stuff, people.
You guys got no sense of humor. All right. Again, we're going to define a variable, write an inequality, and solve it. 4 times a number plus 12 is less than the number minus 3.
I hate these.
Okay. And we're going to get better at them, though. So, number problems, guys, what variable should we always use for number problems?
X.
You can use X, but I use a better one. And I use N. But if you use X, Sean, that's fine.
Yeah,
So-
Sean.
N equals the number. Just jot that down.
Oh, 4 times
I'm gonna have Olson do it because he's whining and crying about it already.
4n plus 12. Sorry.
Got it.
Hold on. These guys, I hated these problems when I was in high school too. Okay, you guys aren't in high school yet, but that's what I did. I did not like them until Alex. Somebody taught me. They're like, just read a few words at a time.
I
And
always
write
do
that.
that.
So read the first 4 words.
4 times the number, so 4n.
4n. Read the next 2 words.
Plus 12, plus 12
Read the next word.
is
What am I gonna write?
equals.
Equals. Is means equals. There's your equation. Now read. Oh no, it's not an equation.
It's not, yeah, I was gonna say.
Right. Is less than. I apologize for that. So what inequality sign? It's any.
The less than, so
It's less than. And then read the last 4 words and try to write it.
the number minus 3, so n minus 3.
And minus 3. Again, guys, take the time to read 3 or 4 or 5 words at a time, and you guys can all do this. Okay? Go ahead, Briggs. Talk to me.
So first I would subtract 12 to get 4n is less than n minus 15. And then I'd subtract n from the right side to the left side.
Okay?
So 3n is less than negative 15. And then I divide by 3.
Flippy or no flippy?
No.
No flippy?
No flippy.
Oh yeah.
Showing flippy.
N is less than negative 5.
Okay. N is less than negative 5. One thing I wanted to touch base on, guys. Anywhere in the directions does it say to graph it?
No.
Does it say anything about set notation? Or interval notation?
No.
Guys, I'll give you guys a break today. On the word problems, you don't have to do all the things that you have to do. On the regular problems, the naked number problems, not word problems, you guys have to. Solve them.
The Naked Brothers band?
They call them naked number problems.
New kids on the block.
He said naked. All right. Easy, Salty. Solve them, graph them, set notation, and interval notation. You have to. I won't take points off. You guys don't do that. You got to do it on the quiz anyway. All right. Any questions, guys, about solving inequalities? Somebody tell the smartboard thing that's recording something smart that you learned today. What do we have to remember?
There
Is
no
it
zero.
interval notation is good. Good, yeah.
Good. Something smarter than that.
Alec,
What about
is
8?
hot.
Tell the smartboard. What about when does the inequality sign flip around?
I learned that today.
If divided by negative number.
Or multiplying by the negative. Okay?